You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday night, which means it is time for the SmackDown Rundown. I am your host, Nicola, and I am here once again joined by my co-host, King J.
Yes, the King has arrived.
And we got a big show tonight because we have to recap SmackDown, which came from Mexico, that was taped for the weekend, and we're going to be previewing WWE Vengeance after that. So what do you say we get the show going?
Let's do it.
And like I said, SmackDown was taped in Mexico, just like Raw was, and actually like this episode of SmackDown, not surprisingly, better than Raw.
I didn't watch Raw, so of course it was better.
Well, of course, if you don't watch, then anything is better than that. But
Very true.
Did you read any articles or reviews, recaps, spoilers about it?
I read a little bit here and there to find out the gist of it.
Right, and that's all you need to know. If you don't watch Raw, you can always read recaps here on AngryMarks.com, or you could listen to the Raw reaction, which is also part of the Angry Marks Podcast Network. Not to be mentioned, we have our producer Killer Kev behind the boards. He'll also be joining in us whenever he so feels like it. And we may have a guest later on, but that will remain to be seen. So SmackDown started in Mexico with none other than the Mexican WWE Champion, Alberto Del Rio.
I enjoyed the start of SmackDown. He got a good reaction, being that he's the hometown guy.
Yeah, it was a big reaction. Just completely, fans were on his side the entire time. And he claims that he was not able to compete tonight because of getting hit in the back of the head or in the back, where it was when John Cena hit him with the steel steps. But, of course, Teddy Long came out, and we all know what happens. Every time Teddy Long comes out, he's going to make a match whenever someone says they can't wrestle.
That's all he does, and that works for me, because let's have to see Teddy Long better.
You know, I'm not going to complain about Teddy Long coming out because he has been the most consistent general manager WWE's had.
Yeah, he has. I mean, he comes out there, says what he has to say, lays down the law, and then you don't see him for the rest of the show unless he's needed. He's not like the general manager who interferes in every match and makes all these crazy stipulations and all that stuff.
Right. And he's not like the current Raw general manager who stops every single match. No. Teddy Long makes
Stop his match!
Oh, I know. It's so annoying. At least 3 weeks in a row now, he has stopped the match.
Referee, I am ordering you to stop this match. I have an important announcement. I'm constipated, and I need some cough syrup.
One thing is, why can't he wait till the end of the match?
Because that's him drawing heat.
True.
That's how. What I don't get is on Raw, he stopped the match, told Triple H to that he was, had to leave the arena, and then we go to commercial, and the match continues. How is that stopping the match?
I have no clue. Like, I saw a clip of that segment on YouTube earlier, and I was like, what? I'm like, you stop a match, and then all of a sudden it goes on commercial, comes back, and the match is still going.
It didn't make sense at all. But that's Raw, and it doesn't make any sense.
Very true.
This is SmackDown, where a lot of things made more sense. And Mark Henry squashed John Morrison in about 2 minutes. That makes sense. Because no one cares about John Morrison anymore, so let's just squash him.
Pretty much. As long as Mark Henry's not on a losing streak, I'm okay, even if John Morrison has to suffer.
He's become the new jobber.
Pretty much. They let Primo have a couple weeks off.
At this point, I really don't care what happens to John Morrison.
Like, I care, but I don't at the same time, because how long has it been since he's won a match, or since we've actually seen him consistently?
I've heard some other shows, and they were asking when John Morrison... They say John Morrison hasn't won a match since he's been back from injury. The only thing I can recall is he's won one match, and that was a Falls Count Anywhere match with R-Truth. That was it.
And that was how many months ago?
Who knows? Who cares?
I think I was still in Las Vegas at that time. So that had to have been like August. That's sad.
Yeah, I think it was August, because that's... Maybe it was August or July, whatever. I don't know. The bottom line is Mark Henry gets the big win. Well, it wasn't that big, but he gets the emphatic win over John Morrison, proving that he is ready for this Sunday.
And that was the most important part. And that's all I really cared about.
Exactly. So, moving on with the rest of the show, Teddy Long makes a match for Vengeance. Ziggler will defend his United States Championship against Zack Ryder. So, this means Ziggler will have 2 matches at the pay-per-view. Hey,
Yep.
at least he's getting a double paycheck.
This is true. I mean, if he loses one title, wins another title, or retains his title, loses the other title, it works out for him, I guess.
Or the other title. At this point, they may put the Internet Heavyweight Championship on the line. Why not?
Who knows what WWE will do?
Layup. Woo, woo, woo. Don't blow it.
We just had a run-in from Teddy Long.
Hey, it's only right. He's the one who made the match.
He gets that one run-in. He runs in anymore, I'm going to shut him down.
We'll thugging and bugging on his ass.
I ain't even got a thug and bug. No. I'm just going to work at him.
Alright, well, moving on with the rest of SmackDown, because we have a lot of ground to cover. Here's my next problem. Wade Barrett defeats Daniel Bryan in a one-on-one match. Okay, Daniel Bryan's losing streak continues, so at this point, I don't care about him anymore. And Wade Barrett gets a victory. So if they're going to do something they might as well put their money behind Barrett, because I would rather see him move to the top than Daniel Bryan at this point, because I'm starting to lose all care for him. This is not like the MVP losing streak that he had that turned him face and made everybody care about him. No, I'm just sick of Daniel Bryan losing.
See, I'm sick of him losing. I really enjoyed this match, though, but at the same time, either Daniel Bryan needs to start winning matches, or they better figure out a way to get the damn Money in the Bank title off of him and give it to somebody else.
Yeah, because since he's won that briefcase, he has only won matches on NXT and Superstars, and that is sad.
And let's be honest, they don't count those matches in the legitimate WWE universe.
Exactly. It doesn't matter.
But at the same time, like Sierra's saying, they could turn him heel off of this.
I can kind of see that, because he has that angry look.
Because he was shaking the rope like he was Batista during that match.
And he always looks pissed off. And because he has that look on his face like he knows he's going to lose and be pissed off about it.
Right.
But I would rather put all my effort into Wade Barrett, because he's more of a main eventer at this point.
Yeah, I just thought it was something. Just put the two of them together. Like, I know Barrett doesn't want to be in a tag team or whatever. Make them have like some sort of uneasy alliance. He turns Daniel to the dark side. Then he starts winning matches and starts wrecking shit. I could possibly get behind that.
I don't know. It'll take some time getting used to.
I just want them to do something.
Yeah. Well, the next match on SmackDown, Sheamus and Zack Ryder defeated Dolph Ziggler and Christian. And this is just pushing forward towards the pay-per-view, and I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I didn't mind that at all. To be honest, I kind of didn't pay attention to this match because
it didn't last long?
Well, it didn't last long. I did notice that Christian walked out on Dolph. Surprise, surprise. And then he attacked Sheamus after the match.
Yep. Gave him a spear on the stage.
And I think it's interesting now that Christian's gone. That's his go-to. Edge is gone. That's his new go-to move.
Well, after that, Cody Rhodes had an in-ring promo, and it was very weird, very strange young man.
He is a strange young man, but I actually enjoyed the promo. I gotta be honest. Because he told the backstory of how they were in Legacy and how Randy beat him up a couple weeks ago. Now he's getting his revenge, and I was all building up to something bigger and better. And how now he's the one with the championship, where a year ago it was him going after Randy while Randy was champion.
Yeah, you just had to sift through all the strange talking and just to get to the point. But yeah, he did tell a backstory of Randy Orton kicking him in the head, and now he's a champion and Randy's not. And then he asked Orton to come out and basically say he made a mistake. Orton came out and just told Cody Rhodes that him getting a bag over his head just made him mad.
Pretty much. But then again, anything makes the Viper angry. But did you see how he curb stomped the one bagger?
Yes, that's what I was getting to. I was about to say I did like the post-promo beatdown, and the baggers getting involved. Orton just took care of him, stomped one of them on the head on the steel steps.
That made my night. Honestly,
DDT
God,
the
that
other,
made my night.
RKO to the other one. It actually made me more interested in this match.
See, I was interested in Jump that they were going to do it, but like the back and forth over the past couple weeks of them actually brawling, and now this week the baggers getting involved, that's just made the feud even better to me.
Yeah. We move on to the next match on SmackDown, and this was a big match. Mask versus Mask. Big deal in Mexico. Sin Cara versus Sin Cara. Blue versus Black. Mask versus Mask. Mystico versus Mystico. I mean, this is the one part of SmackDown that you need to watch because it was a fantastic match with actual luchador wrestling.
I really actually did enjoy this match. Going into it, I had no interest in it because I'm over Sin Cara versus Sin Cara, Hunico versus Sin Cara, Mystico versus Mystico, whatever the hell you want to call them. I wasn't into the match. I thought the feud died weeks ago, to be honest, and then they brought it back last week, and I think this week should be the end of that feud altogether.
Yeah, it should. But I did like the way the match went. It was way better than their match at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. Because that match was billed as a grudge match. This match was billed as the Mask versus Mask, which, like you said, is a huge thing in Mexico. So it gave you that. It's a grudge match, but they're still going to do some high-flying stuff to keep you entertained, even after they slow it down, get a little technical, then they'll pick back up and go back and forth, and it worked both their styles really well.
Yeah. And Sin Cara Negro, he lost, or as Sierra called him, Ugly Cara. He lost the match, lost his mask, and hopefully loses this whole feud and moves on. I don't think he's gone. I just think and hope that this moves on and he gets a new name.
Yeah. Just call him Hunico and let's move it along.
Exactly. They could even call him Mystico.
Yeah. Just spell it different.
I mean, it's not like he's faking it. He was Mystico at one point. We have Sin Cara and we have Mystico.
Definitely. Or, as Sierra says, they could call him Fugly Cara.
Exactly. After that, Beth Phoenix and Natalya gave a promo in the ring, basically talking, blah, blah, blah. They're beating all the Barbie dolls of WWE. Then Eve comes out. And
rocking her J-Lo attire.
Yeah. Says she's not a Barbie doll, and they won't break her. Beth Phoenix says, "Oh, I think she's going to cry. I think I see tears in her eyes." So then Eve shoves her down on her ass, and then why does Beth look like she's about to cry?
Exactly. And my thing is, if you're going to do an in-ring promo right before pay-per-view, you know there's chances are there's going to be a brawl. You wear a dress, you're probably going to get knocked on your ass.
Guaranteed.
Because obviously, Natty can't do anything because her dress is so damn tight. I mean, Natty looked really nice, but her dress was too damn tight for her to sit there and put her in a submission hold or anything like that. So,
yeah, Natalya didn't take any bump. She just stood by, and then Eve just walked away. Eve was wearing jeans, so I would have expected her to get knocked around.
Exactly. I would have, like you would expect them to double team or beat her down, do something, and then the next, at the pay-per-view, Eve comes out there ready to fight, and then it goes back and forth. Something. But I guess it was a good way to make Eve look somewhat strong going into the pay-per-view.
Now, the last thing I want to mention is it just me or does Beth Phoenix look like Jillian Hall when she has straight hair?
I can see that.
I was confused at first. Did not look like Beth Phoenix. I'm used to the curly hair.
No, I actually like her with straight hair. But that ugly ass dress wasn't okay. I understand you're in Mexico, and sometimes down in Mexico you wear some weird crap. But that dress was ugly as shit.
Well, let's move on to the main event of SmackDown. Alberto Del Rio versus The Big Show in a non-title match. And naturally, when you have two men facing each other in two separate main events at the pay-per-view, there is no clear winner, usually. And that was the case this time, because Ricardo Rodriguez had jumped on Big Show's back to cause the DQ. He gets KO'd by the big right hand. Del Rio gets KO'd by Big Show's right hand. And Mark Henry decides to get himself knocked out with the big right hand.
All we need was Chris Tucker to run in the ring and say, "You got knocked the fuck out." That's all we needed.
That's definitely what happened. All three of them. And Big Show had knocked out both of the heavyweight champions of WWE.
Yeah, that definitely made him look good going into the pay-per-view, which they definitely needed.
Exactly. This was the go-home show for the pay-per-view Vengeance. And speaking of Vengeance, we are going to preview that pay-per-view after we take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for news on Lindsay Lohan going to jail, Oprah Winfrey's book club, and Britney Spears' latest album to hit the charts? Then take a hike, jabroni! Amped Radio has the latest professional wrestling news, rumors, and the best industry interviews. The Bowling Alley, The Shoot Club, In the Room, and much more. Catch us on the web at www.ampd-radio.com. Internet radio that will blow your freaking mind.
On November 13th, someone has a date with destiny as Chikara presents High Noon, live at 4 p.m. on GFL Combat Sports. In the main event, Eddie Kingston and Mike Quackenbush compete to determine the grand champion of Chikara. Gregory Iron faces Icarus in a final confrontation. The Funky Pharaoh will address the Chikarmi as the future of the Osirian portal is revealed. Also scheduled to appear are Sarah Del Rey, Ultramantis Black, Hollow Wicked, Jakob Hammermeyer, Bryce Rinsberg, and more. Go to AngryMarks.com/Chikara and order this live iPay-per-view for just $14.99. Available on PC, Roku, iPhone, iPad, and Droid mobile devices. Chikara Wrestling presents High Noon, Sunday, November 13th, exclusively on GFL Combat Sports, your 24/7 combat connection. Go to AngryMarks.com/Chikara and order now.
Hi, this is Peter H., the Hardcore Canadian, reminding you to tune in to Glove Up or Shut Up at our new start time of Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. on AngryMarks.com. So join myself, Stevie J, and Donald Hoover as we review the world of mixed martial arts. That's Wednesday nights at 9 o'clock, right here on AngryMarks.com.
And we are back, getting ready to talk about WWE Vengeance this Sunday on pay-per-view. I hope you all are enjoying the show so far, as I'm enjoying my theme song for just a quick second, and we're getting ready to preview WWE Vengeance. I believe we'll be having a guest on the line with us in just a moment.
A guest? I wonder who that could be.
Well, if you know
what's with all the sarcasm?
Nothing. I'm just waiting for somebody to get done with their ironing. Seriously, it's 11:39 p.m. right now. Need to get that together during the day.
Especially if you have plans on calling into a show. I mean, all you need is a wireless headset, and you can have your hands free.
The only reason you need to have an iron at 11:30 at night is if you've got a neighbor next door that won't settle down.
Or if you're trying to batch your fiancé Daniel Bryan in this call.
Oh!
I ain't saying nothing.
And
what?
Speaking of, Sierra's here to join us.
Wait. What did you say about my husband?
I don't know. I think we see an iron mark on his forehead.
No, you're going to have one.
Uh-oh, sounds like it's going to be an iron on a pole match.
Yeah.
Somebody call Vince
Russo. In your
Russo.
mouth.
Hey, listen, I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with Daniel Bryan. I mean, are you beating him up? Is why he's not focusing on his match?
Are you serious? My name is not Ike, and my name's not Chris Brown. I don't do that, okay?
Somebody call the cop! Call the police!
Shut up, Ron.
Call the police, Sierra!
You're going to need him in a minute. I don't know why he's losing, okay? I have no idea. All I know is that I was put on budget for the wedding, and now the budget is lower.
I got okie doke by little Jimmy!
Well, what I want to know is, if he's so distracted by the budget, he shouldn't even be wrestling in a match.
Okay, if he doesn't get in the ring, how are we going to pay our bills?
The bigger question for me is, if he were to be in a match and put his briefcase on the line, would he lose it?
You know what? That's one thing that is so tricky. You know, every time somebody wins the Money in the Bank, we always say, oh, he's going to lose. He's going to lose. We just know that somebody's going to lose. But it's one of those things that when you think somebody's going to lose, they don't. And I see him losing it eventually. And I also see him going heel.
Well, time will tell with that. So let's get on to this WWE Vengeance preview. And speaking of heel, hashtag heel Ziggler will have 2 matches on the pay-per-view. First one, he'll be defending his United States Championship versus Zack Ryder. And King Jay, I think this is the time Zack wins his second title ever in WWE.
He might win it. They'll probably put the title on. With Jack and Vicky involved, you never know.
Right, and that will depend on if this will be his first or second match.
Sure.
I know Sierra has her own opinion on Zack Ryder, but give us your honest opinion about this match.
See, when you guys say that, you make it sound like I hate the guy. I don't hate the guy. I just said what no one else wanted to say, you know. Everybody was hyping him up about being on the internet. He's not on TV. Well, now he's on TV. And I'm like, okay. He's getting a push.
I don't think you hate the guy.
No.
I'm asking you, how do you feel about his push and his feud with Ziggler for the championship? And do you think he'll win at the pay-per-view?
Well, I'm glad he's getting a push. I like to see somebody new and different to get a push. And plus, Dolph Ziggler needs a new opponent. I mean, he was walking around with that belt for how fucking long? And if they put the title on the guy, it'll be a good move because he's super over and everybody wants a change. And Dolph Ziggler at this point does not need the belt. It's more so like the belt needs him.
Yeah.
And they just need to move on. If they want to focus on him and Swagger being a team, then drop the belt off of him, move him on to tag team titles. But other than that, you don't need to put every title on the guy. It just does not make sense to me right now. I mean, the guy is a former world champion.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Technically he is. So, my other question for you, Sierra, is if Dolph Ziggler retains against Zack Ryder, do you think he will be a double champion and win the tag team championship with Jack Swagger?
See, that one's really hard because I more so want him to lose the belt and go get the tag team titles. And it's really strange because, like, Air Boom is over, but at the same time, I'm kind of tired of them. And I hate their theme song. But, I don't know, maybe they should just give them the belts and just change things up. It's just, I don't know. Maybe I'll watch Raw then. Maybe. And that's a big maybe.
Yeah, it's a good point. So I'll ask you, King J. Are you tired of Air Boom being the tag champions?
I am, and I'm not at the same time, because I really do like them as a tag team. I just think it'd be an interesting change of pace to have heel tag team champions who actually appear on television.
Mm-hmm.
A la, when Otunga was champion, we never saw them.
Wait, who?
Exactly.
Harvard.
Who? What's that?
Bill Cosby Jr. Without being funny.
Theo?
No. That light-skinned brother dating the now skinny singer.
Well, there's like 12,000 of them, Jeff. Come on, be more specific.
Jennifer Hudson.
Oh, you mean the chick that oversings and I can't stand her? I can't stand her.
Yeah, the chick who used to have a big forehead.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, it's so funny with these tag teams they're coming up lately with in WWE. On my SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, I actually had made months ago Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler a team. The team got broken up, and now it's on TV. And I also had Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne as a team. They broke up, and now they're a team. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Just strange. I don't know if they're playing WWE Universe, and that's how they're booking, because it seems like that's how they're booking Raw.
I can see that.
I mean, like, every match could be the Druid versus somebody, and the Druid would go over. And I would actually be entertained.
They need... I think they need to put more emphasis on the wrestlers and their characters than what they actually do nowadays, which is person A, person B, get in the ring and do something.
Well, it's not even like person A, person B, get in the ring, do something. It's more so like person number 1, come out here and say something. Number 2, say something. Number 3, say something. Number 4, come out here, say something. And then try to start a fight. And then it gets broken up. And then we have a match. And then the match literally goes nowhere. The next week, it's like it never happened.
Yeah, like how they were doing Zack Ryder. I'm not Zack Ryder's biggest fan, but I was happy he finally got on television, was picking up wins. Then they took him off TV for 2 weeks, and then on the dirt sheets, he was complaining about not being on television. They put him back on television. He picks up wins. Now he's getting a title match. Now they either need to A, deliver on it and give him the title, or B, do it so he can eventually get another title match.
Well, I like what they're doing with Zack. They're actually giving the guy a push. He's super over. And I'm not just talking about internet. Even if the fans in the arena are inspired from the internet, he's still getting a reaction.
We don't need no more wrestlers getting on the internet to do stuff. No more.
Yeah, just look at Ted DiBiase. He's losing to Jinder Mahal on Superstars, but that's another story.
Don't even get me going.
Don't start on that match.
Oh my god! When I seen that, I said Ted DiBiase. Now I tried with you. And you lost him.
Well, since we're not going there, Sierra, I will ask you, since you will be our resident Divas expert, do you think Torres is going to win the Divas Championship again?
This is another. Because, see, the way they're building it up and the way I see things going, for the past couple weeks, there's been rumors and speculations that Eve is going to turn heel. I don't know where, and I don't know how, but if she's going to turn heel, it could be a possible outcome of this match being, she basically almost had Beth at her wit's end. She almost had her. And then, say, Kelly accompanies her to ringside, and she causes DQ, and Eve loses. Then Eve gets mad at her. She's like, well, you dumbass, you fucked my match up. I lost, thanks to you. And that's how she turned heel. She attacks her and turns heel. But as much as I hate this storyline, and I've been wanting it to be good since day one, I want Eve to win so this fucking storyline can end. Because it's just so... It's going on way too long, and it's not getting anywhere. Because when you think Beth and Natalia are going to attack the Divas and show how dominant they are, because they're dominant Divas on the roster, and they're so powerful, and they're supposed to be dooming people, and they're, the winds of change. And then you see Eve Torres push Beth Phoenix, and she falls down as if she's not the Glamazon. I don't know if when she changed her ring gear, she lost all her power, or what. It just, and then Natalia's coming out there in dresses. I'm sorry. If I'm dominant and I'm going to be dooming bitches, I'm not coming out there in dresses and heels. I'm coming out there in my sweatpants and my sneakers and my tank top. I'm ready to go. I just don't know where they're going with this. And then you got the thing of, how long is the storyline going to go on? Because you got Karma coming back soon. You got Layla coming back soon. Maurice is coming back soon. It's like they based the storyline around 4 divas in WWE, and you got Tamina, Rosa. God, why is she there? You got Alicia Fox, AJ Lee, Caitlyn, Maxine, who has improved so greatly, and she has impressed the fuck out of me. You got all these other girls on the roster. They're not even included in the main storyline, where Beth Phoenix and Natalia are going, we are not here for the models. We are dooming all the models, all the chicks that didn't grow up on wrestling, got in it too. They're pretty. Somebody told them, you could be a model, you could be a wrestler, this. They're not beating up any of the other girls. Yes, we've seen like 1 or 2 squash matches with different girls, but you got Rosa Mendez, you got all these other girls on roster. They're not going after no one but the same girls. And I'm sick of it. I just really want Karma to come back and just backfist everybody, even John Laurinaitis, so we could all be happy again.
Couldn't have said it better.
I just hate the storyline. It's so like TNA Rip, but on acid.
Yeah, they're complaining about all the other divas getting all pretty for Maxim magazine, but yet they come out in dresses
Looking like
like
street walk.
They're coming out in dresses looking like they're getting ready for a photo shoot.
No, like was that one week Beth and Natalia came out there in these really short dresses and these really high heels and had all this makeup on to the nines. And they're like, they get on the mic and they're like, we're tired of all you prissy girls coming out here. And I'm like, y'all look like y'all about to street walk. Like, really?
Exactly.
How are you dominating in street walking? I don't get that at all.
And that's the thing that pisses me off. Like you said, if they're the Divas of Doom, you're coming out there all black. You ain't got makeup on. You got your hair tied up. You ready to throw some blows. You ready to fuck a bitch up.
Yes, you're ready to go. And it just kills me because not even a year ago, we had two small chicks, Michelle McCool and Layla, dominate the entire Divas roster for 2 fucking years with no problem. I mean, they beat Natalia, they beat Beth Phoenix with ease. And they're so freaking small. And when they came out there to attack girls, yes, they might have had heels and stuff on, but, you know, they weren't walking around like them. And it's just like, okay, you had these two girls doing the same storyline. They dominated your roster for 2 years with no problems. But
They took one of you out.
Yes, and then they got two of the most dominating divas in the WWE. Beth Phoenix, who is the strongest out of all of them. And she can't even beat Kelly up. Something is wrong there. I don't like the booking of it. Whoever is booking this needs to punch in the face. This is just like, it kind of kills me that, you know, TNA is fucked up. But when TNA had the beautiful people dominating the roster for like 3 years straight, them bitches, even though they came out there in their underwear, they were beating up everybody. They beat up Awesome Kong, they beat up Hamada, they beat up all the girls. Beth Phoenix and Natalia, they can't do it.
No, they come out there, they're in their dresses, and they're like, ooh, let me look cute tonight. No, stop looking like a damn streetwalker. Stop sitting there, walking around saying, I'm going to doom people. You ain't dooming a damn thing. All you're doing is sitting there like, ooh, I'm going to look evil at these bitches, and you bitches going to be scared. No. Go out there and prove that you're the baddest. You said that you're going to doom everybody, and all I see you doing is attacking Eve, Kelly, Eve. And these chicks was beating you up.
I just hope.
And ain't nobody scared of Kelly.
No one is scared. Not even a damn fly is scared of her. I just don't like this at all. It's really bad, and it's making them two former Divas champions and women's champions look bad. And I don't like it. I hope this is over with by Survivor Series. And we all can move on with our lives.
Either they lose the title and they snap and realize, stop wearing dresses and start attacking people, or they lose the title and we don't see them for a while. And the other divas come back on television, because at this point I'd rather see the other divas in short 2-minute matches versus seeing Natalia and Beth being wasted.
Yeah.
Well, with that, let's move on to the next matches on the pay-per-view. And let's discuss Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, which I believe is not for the Intercontinental title.
Is it not? Because I've heard it is.
Well, see, I've seen that it's... I don't think it is, because WWE hasn't mentioned that it is.
Well, see,
Yeah,
I've heard so many conflicting stories that it is for the title, and I'm like, why are we putting title on the line? I have no idea.
There's been no mention of it on TV, so I'm just going by that. And even WWE.com didn't even mention it was for the title.
Don't trust WWE.com for nothing.
Not
That
saying that.
unorganized piece of shit.
I'm not saying I do. It's just it so far has not been announced officially.
Took me like 2 hours to find one episode of NXT.
I know that website's sad, but I'm actually interested in, like I said earlier, I'm interested in this feud, and I hope it actually goes in Cody's favor, because I think he needs to push more than Randy does or would.
I think it's a good feud. I think the way it's going, it's actually better than had originally expected. From when it first started, we were all scratching our heads on why they're fighting. Are they even in a feud? Why are they in a match against each other again? But after tonight's promo that Cody Rhodes gave, saying that he is now on top, he's a champion, he's getting sort of his revenge from when he was in Legacy, and then when he finally got kicked in the head at last year's WrestleMania, I think this adds a little bit more interest in this match.
Well, see, this whole storyline, when they first started it, I kind of figured they were going to do it because Cody Rhodes had nothing to do, and Randy Orton versus Christian was getting beyond tired. And, I had no problem with them starting it, and I was like, they actually have some unfinished business with each other that they need to finish first before they move on. So, if it's for the title, if it turns out to be for the title, I'll be very confused of why are we putting Orton back in the Intercontinental title picture. But at the same time, they need to build Cody Rhodes up. And hopefully, if this feud continues, this leads to Cody losing his mask at some point.
Yeah, definitely the mask needs to go. That part of his gimmick ran its course. It ran its course long ago.
I think it would have, lasted longer if it didn't get so stale so quick. And then it was just like, I don't know if it was WWE or him. It was just like each week they didn't really try to make it interesting, like the whole paper bags gimmick that came so late. And then when they stuck in with Ted DiBiase, that really didn't go anywhere. So it was just like, maybe it's time to move him on.
I had a little bit of hope when he reunited with Ted DiBiase, but that's all gone downhill.
I wanted Ted to do really well with that, but WWE dropped the ball on it, and now Ted's doing whatever Ted calls himself doing with his DiBiase posse. But I'm glad that this feud between Orton and Cody, Ted's not involved, because I think if Ted got involved, it would screw everything up.
No, it would have been back to, what was it, WrestleMania 26?
I think it was 26.
Yeah.
Yeah, the year when they had the triple threat between them.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, seen it, done it, get over it.
Exactly.
Well, since we're over this match, let's discuss the next one. Christian versus Sheamus. And Christian gets his one more match, but it's not against who he wanted. It's going back against Sheamus in a rematch from Hell in a Cell. Now, King J, we've both said that we like this feud. Where do you see it going with this pay-per-view?
Well, Sheamus won the last one. If they let Christian win, then of course they have to have the big tiebreaker match. But I kind of hope that they let Sheamus win, honestly. Because, I mean, at this point, it's not going to hurt either of them, whether they win or lose a match. But I think Sheamus needs to win it, and then him and Mark Henry could have a feud, and that could be interesting this time around because the title would be on the line. And we find something stable for Christian to have a lengthy feud over.
All right, Sierra, who do you think will win this match?
I want to say Sheamus in this one. Because, I don't know. I like this feud, but really, how much longer can they drag this out? I see this going till Survivor Series where they have their teams, but according to Bret Hart, it's a waste of time to have traditional Survivor Series matches, so I don't know. I just see that coming, and if it does, okay, but at this point, let them have their blow-off match, move them on to something else.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I like this feud. I really can't say whether it would end or not at Vengeance, but I think Christian should get the win.
I mean, I'm for either one, but, okay, Christian wins. What is this, number one contenders match?
Not officially.
Okay, so if Christian wins, he goes on to face who? Orton again?
Right.
And then, okay, he beats Orton, he goes on to face Mark Henry, both heels.
Not going to work.
So if you were to look at it as a number one contenders match, we would probably say Sheamus wins, and then most likely will, slide into the next match, Mark Henry versus Big Show. I guess we could say Mark Henry wins, so that's a new feud for the title.
Yeah, it's not only a new feud, but it's also rehashing a feud, because, I mean, what was it, SummerSlam they had their match?
Yeah.
And they never finished their feud. So they still have something going on there that they need to finish. I mean, at this point, I love Christian to death, but is there really a point of him being on SmackDown anymore? He's beaten everybody. Move him on to Raw.
It was only
he's basically on there.
Yeah, well, it was only good when he was on SmackDown because Edge was there, and this was, back when we thought he was still going to be healthy.
Yeah.
And it started off well, but, the draft came along and switched everything over, and now we're getting the same feuds on both shows, and now the draft doesn't even matter because all wrestlers appear on all shows. Yeah. So, Christian, I don't know, I don't think he's run its course on SmackDown because he is on Raw, as you mentioned, but I don't know, for some reason, I don't think this will be leaning towards a number one contender. I just say Christian will get the win over Sheamus.
I don't know. Chances are it's leading towards that, but I just want them to move them on to something else. And if Sheamus wins, goes against Mark Henry, then Christian is left doing nada.
Yeah.
Unless he's going to feud with Big Show.
And that we kind of alleviated to that. Mark Henry versus Big Show. I'm going to go with Mark Henry because I think he should get the win.
You better go with him.
Yeah.
If me and Sierra co-sign it, you co-sign it.
You got his, endorsers over here. You better say him.
But even if he doesn't win the match officially, I say that he would still be champion. Whether he wins by pinfall or, if he's disqualified or counted out and Big Show gets to win, I still think Mark Henry would and should still be the champion.
Does anybody know when Kane is going to come out the fire again and appear?
I was honestly thinking about that earlier today. After the Big Show Mark Henry thing ends, Kane probably should come back and be one of his next feuds because supposedly Mark Henry's going to be the champion going into WrestleMania.
Yeah, because you know the rumor about Royal Rumble that's going around that Randy Orton's going to win.
Yeah. And I think that would be a good way to go, having the people who he's taken out. I know Kozlov can't come back, but having all the people... that Russian fool who was mixed up with Santino.
Oh.
Yeah, him. I think they need to bring back all the people who he's put out of action and have those be legitimate feuds to get his championship reign over. Because it's been booked pretty damn well so far, and I think they only need to continue with it.
All right, well, let's get on with the rest of the card. We have 2 matches left, and the first one we'll talk about is Miz and Truth taking on CM Punk and Triple H. And Ciara, do you care about this match?
No.
King J, do you care about this match?
No.
All right, well, that's our preview for that match.
Honestly, I didn't know that match. Honestly, I didn't even know that match was happening until I watched Superstars this morning.
I'm just confused by the whole situation. It's just like, okay, first Hunter and Punk didn't like each other, then all of a sudden they like each other because Punk didn't walk out on him, and then R-Truth and The Miz got fired, and unbeknownst to me, they were rehired, and now they're in a tag team match against each other, and it's just like, what?
Yeah, if you don't watch Raw, If you don't watch Raw, you're not gonna know unless you watch Superstars or SmackDown, where they do a little Raw rebound telling you what's happening.
Well, see, the way I found out was on a dirt sheet that, you know, when they were putting up the Vengeance card, and I was like, what? Wait, they're teaming together? And then I was just like, you know what? That's why I don't watch Raw, because I would have been confused as all hell that Monday night. I just don't know. I will not be watching it. Hell, I might even watch the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I don't really have a prediction on who's gonna win. I just hope the match is good.
I'm picking the referee in this.
I'm picking the ring steps.
I'm picking the cameraman.
Hell, I'm picking Johnny Ace in this one. Because I know he's going to come out there and do something.
Oh, guaranteed. That's something I think we can all agree on. Johnny Ace will appear in this match texting someone.
God, I hate his voice.
And I thought your phones were supposed to be off when you were in the building. I thought that was a big new rule.
I guess not when you're in charge.
Jeff points out the obvious.
Hey.
So that leaves one more match on the card for Vengeance, and that's the last man standing match for the WWE title. The champion Alberto Del Rio versus John Cena. And I am not interested in this match whatsoever. I hate last man standing matches, and I just hope Del Rio wins and retains.
If Del Rio doesn't win, then what's his point of still being in the company?
See, I'm kind of like on the fence because, you know, Del Rio's my ex-husband and all. This is a match that is basically called Been There, Done That. Can we not go through this again? It's just like, I understand they have a feud and they want to finish it because John Cena's their superhero and they gotta put him over the bad guy. But how many times, how many pay-per-views are we going to have this same match?
They've had a last man standing match, I believe, 3 times this year.
It's just like, and another thing that's getting me, because I don't want to say this, but I have a feeling John Cena is going to win this one again, because next month he's in a match with The Rock on Survivor Series.
Right.
And then
what's
Alberto Del Rio going to do after that?
Yeah. And I'll throw in this little stat. The last time John Cena lost a last man standing match, his only loss, was in April 2009 at Backlash when he was thrown into the spotlight.
Damn, how do you remember all this shit?
Because I was there. I was there.
In Boston?
No, actually, that was in Providence, Rhode Island.
Oh, excuse me.
But that was at Backlash 2009. Edge had won that match thanks to Big Show throwing Cena into the spotlight. But Cena almost always wins a last man standing match. So let's just throw that little tidbit in there.
Like, can they just put John Cena in, like, fire and deathmatch and see if he survives that?
John Cena versus fire.
I mean, the one thing he doesn't win at is tables. But it's just like, I understand he's Superman, but can he at least lose sometimes? I mean, at this point, he's a big star. Everybody in the company is behind him. All the kiddies love him. Him losing 1 or 2 times is not going to kill him.
Exactly. And he's the one who chose this match because he's good at it or whatever. And the last time Cena faced Del Rio for the title, he beat him, making Del Rio have 1 month title reign. Yeah. Let's hope that doesn't happen again this time.
I bet it will.
So
if it does, to hell with it.
If he wins, to hell with it.
If it does, don't matter to me because we're divorced.
It don't matter to me because I'm not going to watch Raw. So anything that involves that brand, as long as it don't transition over to SmackDown, I'm good.
So, final words, Sierra. Is Vengeance a pay-per-view to watch?
For me, my personal opinion, no. Because I really don't watch Raw. I hardly watch SmackDown. I forget about Superstars. I mainly watch NXT. And nothing on this card makes me want to sit there and watch it. But for everybody else, if you want to watch it, go ahead. But I'm telling you, if it's horrible, don't come crying to me.
King J, what about you? Is this a watchable pay-per-view?
If you're a diehard WWE fan, it's definitely probably a pay-per-view you want to tune into because they have some interesting storylines, even if I'm not personally invested in some of them. All in all, I'll be tuning in most likely. And yeah, I guess it is a pay-per-view to watch.
You know, it's sad that for me in 2011, I don't watch Raw on Mondays nights anymore. My mom, okay, Nick, you remember a couple months ago when I told you about how my mom was reminding me TNA was on TV?
Yes.
Monday night, she comes in here and goes, Raw's on. Yeah. And? She's like, aren't you going to watch it? You watch it every Monday night. You've been watching it every Monday night since, like, you were little. And I'm like, not anymore. 10 minutes later, she comes back as if I had forgot that quickly to remind me, and I'm like, Mom, I am not watching that. You have no idea what they're putting me through watching that. I'm not watching it. So then she finally just gave up, and I was like, oh, thank God, because I could not go through it again.
My mom did the exact same thing. I was like, I don't watch Raw. I was like, what is that?
My mom saw Mark Henry the other night. We were looking at TV, and they were showing a commercial for SmackDown out of nowhere. It was on Lifetime. They were showing a commercial for SmackDown. I was like, what the hell? And this it was like this promo for like Mark Henry comes up, and they have like this up close on his face. And my mom's like talking about something, and she just does this look, and she's like, what in the hell is that? I said, that's the world champion. She was like, you can't be serious. How do you watch that?
That's how my mom is. To see my mom, she used to watch wrestling. My great-grandmother watched wrestling back when Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen were around and all that stuff. I never got to meet her, so I got into wrestling through my mom. And I've been watching wrestling officially since 1993. And for me to not watch Raw now is sad. That I finally just gave up on it altogether.
Wow.
We sound
that
old
is
as-
sad.
Shit, I've been watching since I was like 3 or 4. And now at 22, I'm like, it's on? I don't care.
Exactly.
The only wrestling I really watch now is like I said, I tune in NXT because I like what they're doing, and William Regal cracks me up in commentary. Ring of Honor, what's going on at Independence. Other than that, I don't tune into anything else. WWE.
Well,
Right.
as for me, I still watch it, just because I need something to talk about. I need something to bitch about if I'm going to call in to Ring the Bell or any other show on the network. So I got to have some fuel. I got to have something ready to bitch about when something goes wrong, because Raw is always crap. That's why we came up with this SmackDown show, because it's better. As for Vengeance, for me, only a couple matches grab my interest, and it's mostly the undercard, surprisingly. Christian and Sheamus, Rhodes and Orton, Ziggler and Zack Ryder, even Air Boom. All those matches make me want to watch this pay-per-view. The main events, not so much. They're kind of predictable, but I don't care about them.
Yeah, it actually kind of now that you said that, it's kind of funny that it's kind of, back in the day, not to sound old, the undercard was, more stacked and more important than the main event. The main event matches will be shit. And now, if you look at it now, it's like, okay, your undercard is more stacked than your main event. Your main event is more so like copy and paste.
Exactly.
It's like they go, oh, we'll be doing this pay-per-view. God damn it, I don't know. Hold on, let me copy and paste. There we go. We covered.
And that's the sad thing, because it truly does seem like that. And I've always liked the undercard better than I did the main events, because that's where the more entertaining things were going on. So as long as the undercard is good on the shows, then I'm happy.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to do it for our Vengeance preview and the entire show. So we'd like to thank Ciara for joining us. Do you have any last words there?
Besides the fact that I will not be watching Raw, so don't be looking for me, and I probably won't be here for the pay-per-view, so don't look for me then.
Well, you're just making yourself unavailable, aren't you?
I just can't, I can't do it, okay? Unless you guys want me to start calling and ring the bell and stuff, talking about basketball wives. That's the only thing I can talk about.
Well, alrighty then. King Jay, you have any last words for this week?
No, it was another good show. I'll be here for the pay-per-view.
You have fun.
I'll just see. Hello. I'll talk to you probably every day this weekend and let you know what happens on the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of SmackDown Rundown. If you even think about watching Vengeance, you can always join us in the AngryMarks.com chat room. So, for Sierra, King J, and our producer Killer Kev, this is Nikolai signing out and wishing you all a good night. See you next week, everybody.